All right, back for another episode of the Elon Podcast. Hey, everybody, I'm your host, Mark Rose, today, and we have Mia. Mia, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good.
I
So,
haven't seen you since I met you at the restaurant.
wait, what was that?
I haven't seen you since I met you at the restaurant.
No, besides online.
Mhm.
Yeah, we met at a restaurant that you work at. And
Yeah.
so I met basically this is me and Mia's first time like chatting and talking since we met in person. So I was going to see a SmackDown show with Thomas, and then we went to this restaurant. I don't know if I should say the name or not, but it's a vegan restaurant that she serves at. And yeah, I just liked her energy. I was like, oh my gosh, I like her energy, this, that, and the third. And so what's so funny is I didn't like ask you for your Instagram or anything in the restaurant. Wasn't like thinking about it, but then we left and I got on TikTok and I was looking for vegan spots that were surrounding, and then you popped up on TikTok and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the girl that was just in the restaurant. And so I fell in love with your videos and I was like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. I was like, the frequency is like really high. I like her,
Even at the
everything.
restaurant, I was like, he has just such a good vibe. Like,
Thank you. Yeah. And then I don't really get on TikTok like that. So then that's why, yeah, I don't think I even followed you, but I found your Instagram. I was like, let me find her. But it was so funny because I had to go through the restaurant's Instagram to find
oh my
these
gosh.
followers because I saw your name. I was like, Thomas, this girl is gonna think I'm weird and a creep, but I
Which
was,
in reality, no, I don't. But like I said, I love following people I only meet in person. So it's like it is rare right now to even just like meet someone and be like, "Hey, like you're cool. We just had a little conversation. What's your Instagram?"
yeah.
That's so rare. Like now we just randomly will follow someone online for no reason. So I was like, you know what? I appreciate that you found me because if not, I would have found you.
Oh, really awesome.
Yes.
I love that she said that because Thomas, he was like, well, he's like, I hope that, she understands because I feel like he was like, we live in a world to where people should just understand that it's more easy and accessible to find people online and not take it that way. And I was like, yeah, I hope. But yeah, because I'm the type of person, I'm just like, whatever. Like, I just feel like everything's going to align naturally anyways. But yeah, I just thought it was like really cool how it all aligned. And I was like, I hope she follows me back. But
No,
here
it's
we are.
because you don't care. Like you went with your first instinct, which is to follow
Mhm.
me, which is great. So
Yeah, I'm in, yeah, what's your sign? I'm an Aquarius, so I feel like we're just kind of like whatever.
I'm an Aries, but I have a Gemini moon, so I heard that's why I just get along with everybody, but I
That's
don't
my
know.
moon too.
Is it? Okay,
Yeah.
never mind then. It's just because we have the same
Yeah,
thing.
that's what it is. It was like she's a Gemini moon, he's a Gemini moon. So yeah. Yeah, but you're an Aries. I know three Aries, I think.
Is it
Yeah.
rare? It's pretty rare.
Yeah, I
I
don't know a
really
lot of Aries to be honest. Yeah, I don't know a lot. I have heard, this is funny. I don't know what's your opinion on this. So I heard that stereotypically, if you want to like put labels on it, that a lot of women Aries act more masculine and more like guy Aries act more feminine. Is that true?
yes.
Really?
But here's the thing, Aries women are sweeter, but then Aries men are so mean. They can just be so cruel. However, it is true, like we are more masculine. And I sometimes catch myself like, hey, like maybe I should put on some sweatpants and some slides real quick because I'm catching myself in this moment. Me, super masculine. And then I've met an Aries man. I've only met two actually. So that's how rare they are. And they're just like they're so feminine. They're cool. They're just so feminine
Yeah.
and like so secure of themselves and I love it.
Yeah, that's true because with the two that I know, they're very secure, and like the one of them, well, he's not here physically anymore, but he was like very like fashionable and just very in tune with both sides. Because I was telling someone the other day, I was like, you have to understand, we all have masculine and feminine energies. Just some people just choose, I guess, because of society, the way we're brought up, whatever. A lot of people just stay and they're stuck with like, okay, I'm masculine or I'm feminine. But I like when I can kind of see both sides.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, but yeah, so today me and Mia are going to talk about the law of detachment.
Mm. The law of detachment. Explain to you what's the law of detachment for you?
Oh gosh. Yeah, so this was Mia's like subject idea. And so
It
she's
is
asking me a question and I should have thought about it. But no, the law of detachment for me is detaching from, let's say, like we talked prior to this about like the ego. Let's talk about that. So it's kind of like for me the law of detachment is detaching, like if I were to like say I'm practicing the law of detachment, that's me detaching myself from versions of myself or parts of myself that I feel like don't serve me, maybe like not serve me like anymore now, or my growth or where I'm going.
awesome. That is like the definition of detachment. It's just like letting go of your past and
Yeah.
like letting those possibilities take over. So like for me, I personally had to do a lot of that, which is very scary because you realize once you start detaching from things as your past, you're kind of like, well, for me, it was like, I'm so scared to let that go. That was my personality.
Yeah.
Like me brooding over my past, me blaming people, me not taking accountability. That was me and my personality and my ego.
Yes.
Just like holding on to, I'm right. Like this
Yeah.
is my world and it's not. All the energy I was giving other people was me giving it back to myself, basically. And I didn't realize that.
Yeah, because
So
we're all reflections of each other in different ways. And so what you put out, you kind of get back in different ways.
mhm.
But
It's
that's
not like it's like how we see things is not how others see things as well. So,
right. Yeah, just because you see something one way doesn't mean that someone else is going to see that. That's for all of us, really. And I
mhm,
like that you that you've taken the time to say, like, because when you were mentioning like things that you had to hold yourself accountable, or like certain traits, I feel like we live in a world to where a lot of people, it's so weird. I feel like a lot of people are very like self-absorbed and narcissistic, are really into themselves a lot, but don't know how to really dig deep into like their soul, their spirit, who they are. And I feel like when people are like kind of really into themselves, it's more of a, I don't know, like a not materialistic, but very like, I don't know, whatever's going on or whatever's online. I feel like that's what they gravitate towards
mhm.
without doing that inner work. And sometimes people don't know how to, so I'm not knocking that on anyone. And it's just all about, I don't know, just we're here to like, we have to remember that we're just here to learn, grow, evolve, and yeah, be our best selves.
Yeah. If if you ever notice if whenever you drop something first say I had a vendetta against you because you stole my cat, right? So I've been holding on to this idea that you stole my cat. And so every time I think of Mark, he stole my cat. Every time I think of a cat, it's associated with Mark. Every time I see you in the street and you never admit to stealing the cat, even though you didn't, but I know that you did.
Yeah,
That's just me holding on to like I guess how I put in words, a future that I could have had with you. Like we could have had a friendship and had all these amazing memories and times together if I would have just like dropped the idea that like how I thought in my head was the correct way, which was I know he stole it because I assumed something about you instead of coming at you the right way and confronting the situation for how it is and taking accountability that, hey, you know what? I left my cat out actually. So,
yeah,
so the cat actually ran away Mark never actually stole it. But because I didn't go back and talk to you sooner, I never found that out. You know? So when you said your piece about how we're all online and we're all consumed about the first thing that we see, it's kind of like that, I feel
Yeah,
like we see a headline and we go with it, and that's our strong belief. But if we would have looked like and did our own research, and not even in the comments, because the comments,
right.
you could believe strongly about what someone says in the comment and think that's a fact. No, instead of like doing our research, we look at a headline, and then I'm gonna go to Mark and say, Mark, so and so did this. It actually never happened because I didn't do my research, and now you're spreading. It's like telephone, and because we didn't just like go back and like do our research and let go of that ego that what I saw was right and what I thought was right, all of our future is gone. Not all of it, just like our future that we could have had is now like distorted. It's not genuine.
From all being stuck in the ego and being right, or just emotion, I guess, like a certain type of emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah, lot like a lot of attachment. That's interesting because there's so much. And speaking on technology, that's one thing I feel like people need to, well, attach to the present more, nature, but with technology and social media, I feel like a lot of us in society are too attached to social media and technology sometimes. And that's something that really needs some form of detachment. That doesn't mean like wipe it all out. It just means, just kind of stop yourself and say, hey, I don't know if this is healthy. I'm like looking at these comments and I'm believing all of this, or I'm in my head, or oh my gosh, it's so many ways to go about that. Like how other people like look at other people online and they think that whatever they show, like we can like I can show you this, that, and the third of my life, all the positive good things and not show all the bad things. And then somebody, let's say somebody's looking at my page and they're just like, oh my God, his life is just so good and so perfect. And it's like, because I'm not showing you that. And so that's why like a lot of people just kind of just get too attached to social media, or I think it's like things that they want to do or how they want to be. They'll look at that in other people and idolize that or
Mhm.
those people. And then that makes them feel bad.
So I've noticed something a lot lately, especially with like the younger generation. I don't know what generation we are. I'm 1998, so
Yeah.
that would make us what, millennials?
Yeah, technically, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, millennials, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess the Gen Z, what I've noticed and what I've done my little concoction on the internet, um, they're starting to praise celebrities or other people for doing the bare minimum. And I don't mean it like oh they donated. No, like Tom Holland was holding Zendaya's hand so that she could just go into the car. And the comments were just flood, and I mean that is sweet, right?
That's sweet, but
Tom is a like just like this man was a god.
yeah.
And I was just like, okay, like yeah, I get it, that's sweet. But then you had another celebrity, I don't know who they are, it was on Just Jared, but they were just saying like, oh, they were picking up groceries or stuff, and people were praising them for being normal, or like, oh, they could have had their nannies do it or their security guards do it, but they did it. They're so humble. And I'm just like,
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I could be famous just for pushing a grocery cart. I mean,
Exactly. Imagine seeing like a elderly person and then like someone like took a picture of you like help like taking their cart back, maybe or something like that.
yes.
Well, they honestly like being a regular person, like if me or you did that, nobody really would care. But I guess because it's celebrity, sometimes you're like, oh my gosh. But that's
But
the thing
they're
though.
thinking that it's like, I feel like from what I noticed, just like kids think that like on social media we all have it all together. Like people our age are like millionaires. Everyone's a millionaire in our age group. That's what the younger generation is seeing. And so they're not realizing that, and they're thinking that their life is like less than compared to what they see on social media. And they're leading their lives like, like, hey, like I have to do certain things to get to where I need to be, and they don't have guidance from like us at all. Cause we're over here saying you guys are so this and that, and they're over here saying we're this and that. And
Yes.
it's like we could be helping like our younger generation just like
Yes.
build the self-confidence and like get off of social media and detach from all of the toxicity that brings with it. Like, hey, you're supposed to have this sort of life right now, or else you're losing.
Yeah. And that's how
And
they feel. And it sucks.
yeah, and the possibilities that these kids could have just like from being off social media is it's just kind of sad to see, because I know when like we were growing up, like social media was just coming out, like everyone had a Facebook. We all said like rude and disgusting things, and we all thought that we were like adults because we were teenagers, kind of like the younger generation, the same thing over and over again. But it was just like social media was just beginning. Like we
Right.
didn't cancel anybody. Then Gen Z came, they started canceling everybody. And I just feel like we're so attached to social media that we see that we don't have a future. Because Mark has a Lamborghini at the age of 25 and I don't have a future. Like
Right.
my future is already over before it began. It's not. I
Exactly.
just got off of social media and I just like said, hey, I don't need society's approval, and just like detached yourself from your computer for a second, you would see that like your life is actually pretty great. Like,
It's pretty great. Yeah. I don't know. It's just annoying because I just feel like I agree with everything that you said. I feel like of course, like I feel like we all have, people that we like in entertainment that we like and love, or we may look up to a certain extent, or we see these people that have money, this, that, and the third. But it's like that's their lives, and they've worked for those things, and it's like I don't know. I just think that Gen Z, I don't know, like we're here to support you because we're trying to support ourselves too. But I feel like it's a cycle. Think about this is like so if we're like millennials, then
mhm.
Mers is like the other thing,
Yeah.
Mers or whatever. So you see how it's like I was listening to you talk and I'm like, you see how it's like the same pattern in a way of like how like everybody's judging the other generation, this, that, and the third. And that's the lack of unity. We need more unity, we need more groundness and less of the social media. Like live in the moment. Just live in the moment. Like get some fresh air. I don't know why. I don't know who I'm becoming now, but I get so annoyed when like I see people outside just like on their phone, their iPads all the time, or like even like eating. Like when you go to a restaurant now, I feel like you see so many people, especially Gen Z, but even like honestly, like people who are like in their 40s or 50s, just like the whole time on their phones the whole time. Like it's okay, it's cool, there's nothing wrong with that, but like they're not talking at all or communicating. And that's the issue in society. Like, yes, we have technology and we have to look at the perks of it all and what it brings, but we got to detach from it to a certain extent. And I don't know, I just feel like we need more voices to kind of like vocalize that in the world because now with like AI and the chat GPT, this, that, and the third, I feel like I don't know what to think about the future. I just feel like everyone's being so dependent on technology and it's kind of annoying. But I remember like a month
Stimulating.
ago, I walked out the door
Mhm.
of my apartment and saw like three kids literally like fighting each other with sticks. And I was like, this is cool. Because I have like little cousins and they don't ever want to go outside. All they want to do is like do TikTok dances.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And I'm like, I mean, nothing wrong with that, but I mean, we need to like attach to each other in like nature, but I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of going on a sidetrack.
No, I love it. It is a part of detachment though. Like I feel like the law of detachment can be a physical thing too. Like we
Yeah.
are physically connected to things that, especially like when you wake up and you're on your phone, as soon as you get on your phone, you're relying on that phone now to get you through the day. And you, by the end of the day, you're going to be so overstimulated that
Yes.
you just kind of like kind of forget like, hey, like snap out of it. I'm in real life. I have this beautiful house. I have my family around me. Let me go ahead and talk to them. Spend time with the people that I love or do a hobby that's not on a screen. You know, we want to feel like comfort as human beings. We just want comfort. But like I personally feel like I can't get comfort from a phone all the time.
Yeah, me neither.
And yeah.
Like on Insta, like when I get online, honestly, like so on my Instagram, honestly, I scroll through my feed probably at the minimum, like like my full feed, like every 3 days. Like just so I can kind of catch up and like let it be natural. I go to explore page more, like if I get on, or I'll check stories over here and there. Like I'll do the stories and then I'll go to explore page because actually I've been like detaching from my social media in different instances. So like I've been going through like pages that I follow and I'm like, does this align with my growth and my purpose and who I am? Because think about this, like I feel like we live in a like an age to where like everybody just wants the likes or like the attention, so a lot of people will follow people or like and comment, but there's no real connection at all. And I realized looking back in the past that I've followed people just, I don't know, it's like it's just something that's kind of like in our brains and I never really thought about it but until like a few months ago, but I just was looking at some of the people I was following, and I'm like, we don't ever really engage. It doesn't mean that you have to talk to the person all the time, or it doesn't need to be super frequent, but it's like, am I learning something from this person? Are they getting something from me? Like, why are we following each other just to say, hey, we follow each other and I have a follower? Like, and it's
Yeah.
very statistical, by the way, too because a lot of people are so ready to be like, yeah, my followers, and I feel like people like consider their followers as their fans, even if you haven't really done anything. And it's just like I like to say supporters. I'm just like I rather follow somebody that I want to support and I want to see them thrive, and I know that I'm learning something from them or whatnot. All right, maybe I'm intrigued by them, whatever, but naturally, and same vice versa. I hope I'm like providing something for whoever is watching my page, not just to say I have followers.
I feel like when I was on your page, I that's why I approached you and I was like, "Hey, I wanted to be on your podcast to talk about like certain topics because
Yeah,
like I said, we don't talk about things enough and kind of click back to like I wouldn't say like reality, I would just say consciousness. Like
yeah,
sometimes we lack self-awareness, right? So sometimes I'm not aware that I'm being rude and or that I'm coming off a certain way. And because of that, I miss opportunities that I wanted to do. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna approach Mark because although I think in my head that I'm gonna be so embarrassed and he probably doesn't want to talk to me. He probably just wants to just look at my page or whatever and just be a follower. I was so scared, but I didn't. I like left that mindset and I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and do it. And look where we are. So my thoughts and beliefs are not your thoughts and beliefs. Like I can think in my head so much that, hey, Mark wants to ignore me when really, oh, Mark doesn't mind talking to me today.
yeah. So
If I would have went with that negative attitude, we would have never been speaking.
exactly, you see, and then we wouldn't be doing this or having anything in the future, and that would have been like, oh, then you never know. You would have just unfollowed me or something. And then that could have happened. I would have been like,
Right.
oh, Mia unfollowed me. But no, I agree with that because honestly, I have moments like that too sometimes to where like I feel like as a society sometimes we can all be in our heads more than we need to because I'm
Mhm.
like that too sometimes. I can contact someone or it can be someone that I even like want to have on a podcast or I'm thinking about, but I'll kind of delay it with DMing them or messaging them and I'm like, oh gosh, like, what are they gonna say? And then I'll get the message back. And let me tell you what I'll do sometimes. I can see I get the message and I won't like read it for the next day or hours later. Depends on my mood and where I'm at. Just because I'm just kind of just like, I don't know what response I'm gonna get, so I'll just wait. But not in a bad way, because I try and like I try and be positive most of the time.
It sounds like you go into things with intention.
Yeah,
Like, even though you see that they
yeah,
saw you seen the message, you're just like, let me back up and like respond when I'm ready to respond,
yeah,
because you're coming at it with intention. Like, hey, I'm not just gonna reply just to reply to you. I'm gonna come
exactly.
at it like, hey, you know what? I don't have a response right now. It's loading, but I'll come back to it. And I really like that about you. Because
Yeah,
I you've done it to me, but I've honestly in my head, I was just like, you know what? I like that he's coming at it with it. Because you eventually reply. So I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
so he comes at it with intention. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you like that. You see, it must be the Gemini moons.
Yes. But see, okay, I'm dating right now. Well, I'm trying to date people.
Okay.
And specifically, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I'm very bad at detaching from that side where it's like, oh gosh, like they probably think I'm this and the third and whatever. I've probably matched, and I'm not gonna lie, with over 100 people.
Oh,
Not
really?
necessarily to like just date them. Some I wanted to be their friends, mostly friends, because I'm also trying to connect with people since
Yeah,
moving down here. But it's just like I won't talk to them because I think like,
yeah.
I think they only matched with me for this reason, or I'll look at their page and like I'll assume the worst. I don't know why in my dating life I'm so stuck on being in my ways about thinking that my thoughts and how I believe dating should go is like everybody's way. But I don't know why I can't let that go, dating wise. But everything else I've let go, and I've had blessings and blessings come in. But my dating life honestly has been,
What? So
yes,
are you,
it's
so like,
crazy.
are you like, so are you one of those people? Are you like an actual relationship person?
Yes, I love being super loyal, but right now, I honestly I'm so scared of everybody. Like I'll talk to someone for a whole day, I'll get so overstimulated and stop talking to them
Really?
because I'm thinking, yeah, I think in my head I'm stuck on the I was left by the last person for this reason. So I need to move with this reason. So I'm basically after every relationship that I've had, I've basically been I would say super gluing the toxicity to each other. So now it's just one big giant mess. And now I'm here single for like the first one whole year of my life. And
What?
yeah, and it's like now I think that all this toxicity is like towards everyone. Like I feel like how should I say it? I feel like the toxicity is now everyone. And I'm
Mm.
so scared, and I'm holding on to this belief that everything's going to go this exact same way because it's following this exact step. I feel like I missed two soulmates, maybe three by now that I could have had.
Law, what are we
I'm
talking
not
about right now? We're talking about law of detachment, Mia. Law of
yeah.
detachment. So I need you to detach from those old experiences.
Yes, I
So,
think that's the one thing I'm still healing on is the
yeah,
dating life. But other than that, I can honestly say the law of detachment does work. Like when you let go of your beliefs and your idea and your ego, you get
yes.
so many things. Yeah.
Yes, I've been experiencing that. Like I'm still doing that. Like I'm growing so much and I just like every time I feel I see myself like detaching from like a old trait or something that I know is not good for me or my energy, and then I just feel like the consciousness and everything just aligns, and I always get these signs, whether it's in a thing, place, or whatever it is. I get some type of sign, and I just feel better, and I get confirmation. I feel, and I'm just like, oh wow, that was needed to just kind of go because I was holding me back and from being my best self. So you're mentioning, so in your last relationship, did the person leave you?
I left the person. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I heard you say left. Okay, okay, okay.
But I mean, just I feel like the toxicity never left though. Like I felt like all the bad way and the trauma that I went through on both relationships just kind of like kept piling on, and I never addressed them. So I always thought like, and I still think today because I'm in that prison of past conditioning that like I'm I get this because I'm a certain way. Like my last ex didn't like this about me, so the next person's not gonna like this about me. I get into my head so much about that that I do miss out on dates. Like I don't go on dates. I bail out on them, and I
No,
yeah, like it's I get so scared, and for some reason it's like the one part of my life that's important to me is like being loved and giving love because I'm a lover. And
yes,
I'll stand on that. I don't care what anyone says. I'm a lover, but it's the hardest part of my life. I
yeah,
feel it. Yeah.
yeah. I think it's just those things. I mean, that's normal. That's human nature. I feel like no matter your growth, like those things, like there will be like little triggers or things that will come up. It's just how we learn it or have grown to kind of like manage or deal with them, you
Mhm.
know? So that makes sense. I definitely see what you're saying.
You ever heard like people say, um, "Oh, all girls want flowers. I don't. I just need him to say he loves me."
Yeah,
Heard people say that?
I've heard that.
It's kinda like that. Like, I've never gotten flowers from someone, so I think I don't want flowers.
Oh, really?
Yes, but I do want flowers,
Yes, you
actually.
deserve flowers.
Yes, I do deserve flowers,
How'd you
but
know? See, I like that.
I
You
never
know,
got that, so I was conditioned to thinking I wasn't worthy of flowers, but this whole time I was, and I did like them. I just was like, "No, I don't like flowers because I don't like flowers. I don't need flowers because you won't give me flowers." That's the detachment I'm trying to learn to do.
mm,
Get rid of that past conditioning that I'm only worth what they gave me, and I'm not. So,
yeah, no, I get that. Like me being in a relationship, I will say I'm one of those people I like to really self-reflect and like over like time I've seen like traits, just things that's like the law of detachment. I've seen things, traits that I never really like, whether it's like someone like growing up close to me, like in my childhood or something, or like one of my family members or something, and then I just start to see that that plays out in me in
mhm.
relationship. Is that your dog? Or so,
Yeah.
I saw you looking over. I saw your eyes looking over. No, because you're doing what I
I
do. No, you're good. That's when my cat tips. Sometimes she'll come to the door, and I'm surprised that she hasn't came to the door yet, because usually she'll come to the door and she's like, "Let me in," and then we'll be doing the podcast, and I'm just like, "Okay, you're good." But yeah, no, I realized like there are like just a lot of things about myself that I'm like when I've dated in the past people before like my current relationship, and then I'm like, oh, this person did this to me in the past and I didn't really like it or it made me feel a certain way. So when this person now that I'm dating is like making me feel like good or doing certain things, and I'm like in the beginning for sure, I was like, what is this? Or either I would act kind of weird. I feel like I wouldn't know how to react to those
Yeah,
things
it was
that
kind of like, "Oh,
yeah, yeah. And
you're
then
nice
when you
to
get
me?"
them, it's like, oh, it is okay to feel this way. But yeah, I had that issue at first to where I didn't know how to fully accept the love
Yeah.
because in my past I wasn't used to that. And I'm usually like the person who like would give the love out more, like in general, not even relationships all the time, but I like never really like get it back the way I guess the way I want it. You see how deep all of this is?
Yes.
You know, like I
And
feel
it
like that's
and that is where you take accountability and say, and I should take my own words, but that's where I feel like, the accountability comes in and the self-awareness, like, hey, like I'm being self-aware that I'm not giving myself what I deserve.
yeah,
At the end of the day, like we are all this energy and this physical body, and we deserve a lot more than what we think we deserve. Just because society says I have a 9 to 5 means I only deserve 9 to 5 pay.
no,
That shouldn't stop me. I could actually have 6 figures in my bank account every day if I wanted to, but I need to be self-aware about how I'm living my life. Am I letting society control me and say, "Hey, yeah, I only deserve 9 to 5 money?" Or am I getting out there and doing it myself? Am I manifesting my dreams? Am I actually building towards my goals? Like, am I actually leading the life that gets me to that path? Or am I just sitting here and saying, yeah, I'm okay with what I have because, everyone says it's okay.
Mm, that's deep. That is deep because we definitely live in a world to where I feel like the ball is in all of our courts, pretty much. So it's either like we choose to believe in ourselves or not let the physical 3D realm like control us, or either we just say, hey, fuck this, and we decide what we want.
Exactly.
We go after that. So yeah, that's definitely deep. Yeah. I feel like, yeah, it's a lot to uncover with that. So yeah, so basically like, we're like simmering down on our time right now, no rush or anything like that. But yeah, so guys, and Mia are definitely gonna have some more chats and banter so we can get into some things, as they say, get into
Yes.
some things. But yeah, the law of detachment. I mean, for me, I'm so happy that you brought this up in this subject matter because it's something that I think that we all, like everyone needs to listen to, no matter what age, ethnicity, like wherever you're from, whoever you are. I feel like it's just something that we all need to just kind of think about. Like, what am I too attached to? What can I detach from? So I can be my best self and be more aware in the moment. So I think that's basically kind of like the whole emphasis of, our conversation is how can we be our best selves, but not attached to those things that don't serve us,
Right.
but like detached to those traits or things. And just, we have to remember that we're going to have triggers. We're going to, like, life is about yin yang lessons. Like, you're never going to, like, every day is not always going to be great. And then, like, years down the line, like, there's going to be something that might trigger you, but it's just with your growth. How did you grow from that and learn from that? Yeah.
Right. And it's going into the unknown. That's the biggest thing. Like, you don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. So let me just go ahead and message Mark about a topic I want to talk about.
Right, exactly.
It may seem like, hey, he's annoyed at me. I don't know that. I'm just gonna do it.
That's far from the truth. And you see how like the human like experience works because I
Yes.
can do that too. Because then I can like respond or like I'll message someone too sometimes, and then I'm like, and I'll think about it, and then I'll just like kind of forget about it, and then it's like they'll respond, and then it's like, oh, it wasn't that bad.
Right.
Yeah, but no, I like that. I like this conversation, Mia. So I'm really excited about what's to come.
Thank you
More
for
chats.
having
And I just
me.
thank you for you being you and having your great, loving, high frequency of energy. And I feel like it's something that everyone needs to feel. So that's why I'm excited for you being on the podcast more. So a lot of people in the audience and viewers can feel this energy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I loved the conversation. It was very like it's so refreshing to hear someone else's like side
Yeah.
because you are I am you, you are me. Like we
Yeah.
all go through the same thing eventually and it's crazy. It's
Yes.
comforting.
Yes. I love that. Okay. Well, we'll chat again. Until next time.
Till next time.